Salam, Ikmal. Is it okay if we start now? Yes. Okay, I don't see any student in this Google Meet session, but I guess most of them are tuning in through YouTube. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Sorry? Oh, okay, all right. So we will start. Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you for tuning in CELPAD briefing session on Google Meet and Google Classroom. So my name is Miss Majdina, and here with me we have Mr. Ikmal. Right. Okay. So let's start our session today with Al-Fatiha. Okay. For today's session, it will be conducted in 1 hour in two parts. The first part will be done by Mr. Ikmal on Google Meet, and then the second part will be done by myself on Google Classroom. Okay, without further ado, I would like to pass on the mic, okay, not literally, to Brother Ikmal. Okay, if you're ready, Brother Ikmal. Slide. Meeting. The slide on start meeting. Oh, yeah, yes.
basically this is how to start a meeting in Google Meet. But I don't think that you really need to know how to start a meeting, because the meeting will be the meeting link will be generated by your teachers. So this is just for your information that we can start a meeting, that we can just start a meeting by using Google, and creating an event in Google Calendar. Next one, by using Gmail, Google Meet website itself, and as well as the link given by your teachers and the link generated in the Google Classroom. So the most important part of this Google Meet briefing is on how to join a meeting, because if we in this semester we are going to use Google Meet. If your teacher is your teacher will be using Google Meet, so you have to know how to join a meeting. There will be a few ways for you to use or to join a meeting in Google Meet, but I think the one that the teachers use the most is by using the link, as well as the link generated on Google Classroom. So now I'll show you how to join a meeting using each of this. I'm not going to show you how to join a meeting using Google Calendar, because I don't think that the teachers will create an event and invite all of you by using Google Calendar. But I'll show you how to join a meeting using Gmail, as well as using Google Meet website, and also the link shared to you. So let us go to this one. So you have to go to your Gmail. So at the sidebar, the left side of your Gmail, you can see that there is an option for you to either start a meeting or join a meeting. So you just click join a meeting, and then you can simply insert the meeting code. How can you get the meeting code? So if you can see here, or if you have uh, what we call that, if the teacher have sent you the meeting link, you can see that there is a meeting code at the end of the link. For example, in this meeting link, you can see that there is here, right here, WHXSUWCYFU. So you can just simply copy and paste this meeting code and paste it here. So once you paste it here, you can click join, and it will direct you to the Google Meet room that is created by your teacher. So that is the first step on how to join a meeting in Google Meet. And the next one, you can simply click the link given by your teacher, and it will direct you to the Google Meet here. So here, there is some important parts that you have to concern about, which is the first one. You have to allow the Google Meet to use your camera, as well as you have to allow Google Meet to use your microphone. If you are not going to use your microphone or your camera, so before you join the meeting room, you can just simply click on the microphone button, as well as the camera button, to mute the microphone and to turn off the camera. You can turn on the microphone or unmute the microphone and turn on the camera later, after you join the meeting room. So here is how to join a meeting using uh, Google Class, using the link given by your teachers. So now I'm going to show you on how to join Google Meet using your Google Classroom or the links generated in your Google Classroom. First, you can go to your Google Classroom. So once you go to your Google Classroom, you can just click on the class, for example, this class. So at the top or in the banner of the Google Classroom, you can see that the Meet link is there, which has been generated by your teacher. So you can just simply click the Meet link here, and it will direct you to the Google Classroom, Google Meet room. But the problem, if you are using your Google Classroom, you have to ensure that the email or the default email that you have been you are logging in at that time is the email that you used in this Google Classroom. If not, you cannot join the meeting the meeting that has been generated using Google Classroom. So this is how to join a Google Meet session. Next, we are going to see on technicality of Google Meet, which is first how to view people in the meeting. So here is the interface of Google Meet if you are using your laptop. So at the top part of the Google Meet, you can see that there is a few main things here. First one here is the participants of the meeting. So you can just simply click here to see the participants of the meeting, as well as you can add the people. But I don't think that you have to add people here because you have uh, received the link by your teachers, and so you just click the link given by the teachers. And next to the participants is the chat box here. You can just simply click the chat box here so that you can send anything that you are going to discuss or you are going to ask during the meeting. And this is the new feature that we have in Google Meet. Before we don't have clock in the Google Meet, but now we can see we have clock in the Google Meet. Next one more thing that you have to know, that there will be two names of a person if he or she is presenting. So the first one will be his or her account, and the next one will be his or her presentation. So if you are going to see or you are going to pin his or her presentation, you can just simply click this participants button, and then you can go to his or her presentation and just click pin here. So it will pin the presentation. Okay. Or if you don't want to pin any of the participants' account or any participants here in this Google Meet, you can hover your mouse to the bottom of the Google Meet interface, and there will be a hidden menu here, which you can see that there is a three dot option at the right side of bottom right of the Google Meet interface. You can just simply click the three dot buttons here to see that there are many other options here. So the most important thing that you have to know is the session or your class will be recorded by your teachers. So once it is being recorded, there will be an I don't think that it is an icon or what, but there is these things here at the top left of the Google Meet interface, which is we are showing that the session is being recorded. And please bear in mind that you must not click this button, which is stop recording, or else the record session will be cut into few parts if we stop and start the recording again. So the next thing is you have to know how to change the layout. So here there are a few layouts that you can change into. You can change the Google Meet into few layouts, which are using a sidebar. Which, if you are using sidebar, it will look like this. There will be the person who is presenting at the center of the Google Meet interface, and there will be the participants here at the right side of the Google Meet. And the next one, if we are using Spotlight, the Google Meet will only show the presentation or the person who is presenting. There will be no participants shown here at the right side of the Google Meet interface. Next one, if we use Style, still it is quite the same with what we call that sidebar. But if there is nobody presenting here, presenting at that time, the interface will be the what we call that the participant will be all participants will be shown in one screen in type version. So here is how to change the layout. If you're going to use Google Meet in full screen, you can either click here to go full screen, or you can just simply double click at the center of Google Meet website here to go full screen. Next one here, meeting details. If you click meeting details here, you can see that there are some infos of this meeting. So here is the link that has been sent to you for you to join this meeting, Google Meet. And then next one, three buttons at the center of the hidden menu at the bottom of Google Meet here. So here is the button for you to turn off or turn on the microphone. If you are not using, or if you are not going to speak, or you are not using your microphone, you can just simply mute your microphone by clicking the microphone icon. Next one at the center here is for you to end the call or leave the meeting. The next one is for you to turn on or turn off the camera. If you have quite strong internet or mobile data, you can turn on your camera, or else you just have to turn off the camera, because if you have a weak connection and you turn on the camera, it will cause you or it will lead to disruption in listening to the speaker's voice, as well as to see the presentation presented by the speaker. So here is a few things about Google Meet interface. Next, I'm going to before that, is there any question?
Those of you who are in this Google Meet session, if you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask directly to Brother Ikmal. But if you're tuning in through YouTube, you could also on the chat box on YouTube.
As of now, there is no question in chat box YouTube.
So I think you can continue.
Okay. Last thing about Google Meet, it is more about technical issue, because there will be some problems in using microphone as well as a camera. If you are not allowing your web browser to access your microphone and camera before joining the meeting, you cannot use the microphone and the camera after you join the meeting. So what is the most important thing is you have to allow the web browser to use your microphone as well as your camera before joining before joining Google Meet, so that you can use the microphone and camera later. But once you allow the web browser to use your microphone and your camera, it doesn't mean that you cannot mute or you cannot turn off the camera, because it is just about you to allow the web browser to use your camera and microphone. It is not about either you can mute or unmute the microphone or the camera itself. So first thing first, you have to allow the web browser to use your microphone as well as your camera. Next one, if you cannot use your microphone in the web browser, you can go to the sound setting at the bottom of your what we call that, taskbar in your laptop or your computer. You can open the setting button there. I'll show you how. Okay, here is how you can check, or you can set up your microphone if you have problems with your microphone's setting in Google Meet. You can go to the taskbar at the bottom of your desktop, and then you can just simply right click on the speaker icon here and go and you can open the setting. Then once you open the setting, wait for a while because I have to create a new window capture. Once you have clicked the you can see that there is an option for input, so you can choose your input device there. So that is how you can change the technical settings of your speaker or your microphone. So is there any question? I think that's all for me for Google Meet.
So is it okay if I continue from here, Ikmal?
Yeah, you may continue.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ikmal. So now I will continue with Google Classroom. Okay, I will now share my screen. Can you see my slide? Okay, so apart from Google Meet, in which your teacher might use for live sessions, your teacher could also use another platform for asynchronous learning, which is Google Classroom. At this point, I think most of you are already familiar with Google Classroom because, as far as I'm concerned, some teachers might have used it even during offline classes, when we had physical classes before. Okay. So first of all, for you to join a Google Classroom, it is best that you have a Google account, obviously. Okay, so it will help you a lot when you use Google Classroom using your Gmail account. Okay, so first things first, there are a few things that you need to download, regardless of whether you are using your laptop or your smartphone, right? Okay, so if you use Google Classroom on your laptop, you can either access the Google Classroom through your Gmail account, or you can also download the Google Classroom app onto your laptop. This is the same thing for smartphone as well. Okay, so where do you actually find the Google Classroom in your Gmail account? Okay, if you notice that, okay, if you use your Gmail, you will see this at the top right of your browser. We call it a waffle or whatever you want to call this. Okay, so when you click this one, you will see all these options for Google Apps. Okay, and you scroll to the bottom, you will find Google Classroom. Okay, so when you have this, it is easier for you to join a Google Classroom, or if you are using your smartphone, these are the apps that you can download. Okay, the first one is actually a Google Meet app. Okay, and you can also download Google Docs app, because most of the time, if you are required to hand in or turn in written assignment, this will help a lot. Google Doc, okay, as well as Google Classroom, right? Okay, so first I will just share how to join a class or on your laptop. Okay, all right. So if you have logged in into your Gmail account, right, and you click on the Google Classroom app, okay, so you can join a class. So what you will see will be this button here for you to join a class, okay, in which you can join a class to a class code shared by your teacher. Okay, so this Google Classroom will be exclusive for your class only, but it depends. If your teacher prefer to collaborate with a different teacher with other class, so there might be more than one section in one Google Classroom. So once you have the code, you can type in the class code and you can click join. You join your new class. You don't have to worry about the layout or everything, because this will be done by your teacher. Okay, so once you have joined a class, right, I will now show how can you access the assignment or material that your teachers have shared. And for this purpose, I will now change my screen to my browser. Okay. Okay, can you see this? Okay. If let's say you have joined a class, wait. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. Mm. I hope you can view my browser. Okay. Okay, so if let's say you have joined a class, for example, this is my Google Classroom with my section 551 students. Okay, so what you need to pay attention to would be this stream uh, tab on top here. Okay, so first of all, the stream here works like a timeline. So if you want to know the latest posting by your teacher, you can always scroll down this timeline. It works like your social media account, okay, and you will see the latest assignment, for example. And if let's say you have an upcoming assignment that is due whenever it is due, you can also see it here. Okay, this is actually my class, but I have enrolled myself as student using a different email, just for the purpose of showing you how you go about using Google Classroom. Okay, so another one that you would have to pay attention to would be the Classwork tab. Okay, so for this Classwork tab, okay, you will see all the materials or the assignments that your teachers have assigned or shared or uploaded, and you can easily find them according to topics. Okay, so different teachers, different classes may have different layout or arrangement of topics, but it all depends on how you and your teacher are using this Google Classroom. Okay, because the purpose of this briefing is to show you how to hand in or submit your assignment through Google Classroom. I will now just directly go to one of the tasks that I have shared with my student. Okay, for example, let's say I have assigned this to my student, right, on 3rd June. This is a task 2 essay assignment. Okay, so if I click here, all right, so I could see the instruction given by my teacher over here, and this is the Google Doc that my teacher have shared with each one of us. Okay, so in submitting an assignment, you can either add or create, right? If you add, you can also upload a file from your device, or you can just directly create on Google Doc. That means everything will be done online. You don't have to upload or download anything. Okay, so you could just directly share here. Okay, for example, if let's say my opinion, I agree that. Okay, so after you're done, you could just turn in the assignment, the writing assignment. So everything will be saved automatically, and once you're done, you can turn in. Okay, this is one of the ways. Okay, however, because for my class, I have actually uploaded a Google Doc which I have prepared beforehand. So what my students would have to do would just access this Google Doc right here, and they can directly edit on this particular document. Okay, for example, I have the instruction there, and I want my student to record the start time and the completion time just to know how long they would usually take to finish one essay. Okay, so you can just directly edit, for example, my opinion. Read that. Okay. Then offline classes. Okay. So say this is a completed assignment. I could just directly turn in. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. Okay. If let's say you turn in, all right, this will directly be submitted. Okay, but before that, make sure it is saved. All right, your work are all saved, but usually it is easier if you do the assignment on Google Doc online, because it will be saved automatically. All right. Okay. So okay, I will go back to my slide. Okay, so we have finished with this, right? Right, so after you are done, you have submitted, all you have to do is just wait for your teacher to return your work online. Okay, so perhaps your teacher would give you feedback or grade. That is up to the teacher. Okay, so if you use Google Classroom on your smartphone, it is not that much different, right? So if you have the app, it will look somehow like this. First thing first, you need to join a class. Okay, so use the plus button there, join a class, same thing. Enter the class code shared by your teacher. Okay, and you will see all the classes that you have joined if you join more than one class, right? And then if let's say you are given an assignment, okay, you just need to edit your work on your smartphone. It is possible to do that, right? And it works the same thing like if you're using a laptop. You can create a Google Doc, a new doc. You can also add attachment if it's on your device. But it is recommended that you complete your work using Google Doc online, right? Okay, so if let's say you are given a writing assignment like this one, and you have the graph given to you, it works the same. On your device, you can still edit the document, and then after that, you can just turn in directly, right? Okay, so don't forget to hand in. If your work is submitted, then you're all done. Okay. Right. So I wish the best of luck for everyone who is using Google Classroom. It is new for some, but some of you may have been quite familiar with the platform. Okay, whatever it is, you need to explore. These 2 weeks is a period for trial runs. So if you encounter any issue uh, relating to the platforms that your teacher use or internet connection, this is the time for us to get the feedback from you and perhaps help you to solve the problem. Okay, I have an additional document that I like to share with everybody. Okay, so this is actually a document which is relevant to LEM students or English students. Okay, right at about this time, I think most of you would have seen this guideline. Okay, your teacher might have shared this with you earlier. Okay, these are the assessment guideline for LEM students or for EPT. So instead of having a final EPT, we will have final assessment, which will be done in stages. Okay, so first I will start with reading assessment. Okay, you will still have to answer 40 questions and 4 reading passages, but like I said, it will be done in stages. Therefore, there will be 4 parts, okay, which will be done from week 9 up until week 12. All right. So when the time comes, your class teacher will share the link with you, and it is scheduled time in which everybody will attempt this reading assessment at the same time. Okay, so one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that because it is a scheduled time, you have to be punctual. If you start or attempt the assessment later than the given time, you will not be given extra time, of course. And after 40 minutes, you will not be able to access the document anymore. All right. Okay, so that is for reading assessment. Okay, now we have writing assessments too. Same thing, just like EPT. We also have writing task 1 and task 2. Okay. So instead of just one of each task 1 and task 2, you will write 2 reports and 2 essays and 2 opinion-based essays. However, it will be done in stages, not all at the same time, so you don't have to worry. So the first writing task 1, okay, will take place in week 9, right? Another one in week 12. Okay, so this is why it is important that you know how to answer or to submit your writing assessment using Google Docs. Okay, please experiment within these 2 weeks so that you don't encounter any problem during the final assessment. Okay, so you must answer using Google Docs. That means you will also have to hand in online within the time given. Okay, so for task 1, for each report, okay, you will be given only 1 hour at a scheduled time in which everybody would have the access to the document all at the same time, right? And once you have completed the report, you will turn in through Google Classroom. Okay, this is the same with your writing task 2 assessment. 2 opinion-based essays, each one at the different time. So one in week 9 and another one is in week 12. And just like I have mentioned before, you have to answer and submit through Google Classroom. Okay. Okay. Using Google Doc, right? Okay. So for task 2, you will be given 1 hour and 30 minutes for each essay, all right? And please bear in mind, although this is not a centralized exam in which you all sit in the same venue, okay, we still do not condone any plagiarism or cheating attempts. Okay, so if you plagiarize or copy any work from the internet, your work will be awarded band 0. Okay, it is actually easier to detect plagiarism on an online document. Okay, so the essays that you submit through Google Classroom on your Google Doc, it is subjected to Google's originality report, in which the teachers will be notified of any plagiarized parts. Okay, so please treat this final assessment just like how you would treat and attempt your final exam. Prepare beforehand. Once the time comes and you have to sit for the exam, you could just directly type in your answers without having to refer to sample essays on the internet and whatnot, right? Okay, last but not least, we also have listening and speaking assessment. We still retain the same format in which your listening and speaking assessment will be done in group discussion. Okay, so it will take place in week 12. All right, same thing. You will have 3 to 4 members in a group plus 2 examiners. Okay, this speaking exam will be conducted via Google Meet. All right, that is why the session or the briefing given by Brother Ikmal just now is very important for you to get used to using Google Meet. Okay, so the duration of the speaking test has not been changed. If there are 4 students in a group, you will be given 2-minute preparation as well as 10 minutes to conduct the discussion. However, if there are 3 of you in a group, preparation time still 2 minutes, but the discussion will be shortened to 8 minutes. Okay, and just like your other classes, your speaking assessment session will also be recorded for reference, right? Okay, for all of your teachers will share the detailed schedule or timetable with you later on. So please pay attention to announcement made by your teachers. I'm sure at this point, most teachers would use different and multiple platforms, mainly WhatsApp, your Google Classroom, as well as Google Meet. Okay, so within these 2 weeks, you should use the time to actually explore them and get to know these platforms well, so that it will ensure a smooth sailing for the final assessment later on. Okay, I think I'm done now. So if you have any question, please let me know. Or maybe if you have question for Brother Ikmal, he is still here. You can also still ask him questions. Anybody? Wait. Okay, I will now stop sharing my screen. No question? Ikmal, anything else you would like to add? Okay, it seems that most of you are okay. I hope you are doing okay wherever you are. If you have any question or if you have any issue, please refer to your teachers. I'm sure they are ready to help you. And because it's a new norm, it's a new phase for all of us in teaching and learning. Both teachers and students are still learning, right? So if you have any issue, don't stop. Please don't let that stop you from learning. Okay. All right. I think if you don't have any question, I will just stop the session now. Okay. Anything before we go? FIFA, anything you would like to inform the students?
Assalamualaikum. Sorry for buzzing in like halfway. Okay, I'm sorry for those students who have entered earlier because I just discovered that I need to approve every one of you, but I was away from my phone. Also, something that you need to take note of when you are entering Google Classroom with your teacher. Only your teacher can approve you for Google Meet. So that's all, Dina. Thank you, Dina.
Okay. Thank you.
The students, you can view the recorded video on the same link as the streaming link after this meeting. So, all right, thank you, Dina. Let's end our session with reciting Surah Al-As.
Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a nice day, and hopefully we will enjoy. I don't know if we could enjoy this online learning. All right. Assalamualaikum.